everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be discussing chapter 9, The Proposal, from the book First Flight for Class 10 English. So let us first check the activity. So the word proposal has several meanings. So can you guess what sort of proposal this play is about? Usually proposal means usually we think that it is about someone asking for someone else for a marriage. So let us choose the act of asking someone's hand in marriage. So next they have given you a small paragraph about Russian weddings and their customs and traditions and the rules that they follow. So after reading that, we have to fill a following table. So let us see. So based on the paragraph that was given, we have to choose how similar Russian wedding is to Indian wedding and how it is different from the Indian wedding. So as we probably would have read the paragraph by now, and we see that they have similarities such as sharing the wedding expenses with the families. Before, they used to also have that only the bride side must pay. We used to also have that the bride must usually pay. But then now we have modernized the concept of wedding. So we are open to sharing and taking care of the bills. So next one, with reception, wedding reception is filled with food, drinks and fun. Here too, our weddings are like a festival that is being celebrated. So it is not a mere union of two people. It is actually a union of families and relatives. So it is basically a full-fledged party. So the same is for them too. Next one, they have speeches and toasts. The same way people come about and they talk about the bride and groom and they wish them luck and they snare snippets of their life and how they used to be in the childhood. So all those things is same for us too. Next one, the groom and bride sit in a special place. So yes, for us also they will be sitting on a stage or something so that every member who comes who comes late or anybody who is arriving late, they can sit and watch the bride and groom without any disturbances. So same way for us too. Next one, it lasts several days. Same for us too, it lasts several days. The engagement one day, the next day the wedding, then the reception, then the sending of ceremony. So same way they also have multiple days of celebrating a wedding. So what is different from our Indian customs? So we can see that one of the thing is that the relatives of the bride, they put riddles to the groom. Usually when it is a high storied apartment in which the person is staying, the bride's family is staying, the groom has to go and pick the bride for the wedding. So in that case, each floor he goes and he has to answer riddles that are being put to him by his friends or the girl's friends or relatives like that. So once he passes only, he can go up and get his bride. If he cannot answer the question, he has to at least pay for his answers. Next one, the same thing. Then the bride gets stolen. So what is that is, in this case, they have a thing that the bride gets stolen and she gets married. That is, the person has to steal the bride and they have to get married. Next one, the bride shoes is also stolen. And the groom has to pay his friends or it may be the girl's friends. He has to pay them and to get the shoes back. So similarly in India too, in northern part of India, you have a custom like the groom's shoes are stolen by the girl's family. And even the boy's family also gets into this. And they try to barter a system to get the money from the groom. Next one, the couple goes on a city tour after the registration of the marriage. So this is probably not found in India. After the marriage, we have lots of customs to perform in the groom's house and the bride's house. So this one is entirely different from us. So next, we will go into the story. So there are three main characters that are in this play. So it is Stepanovich Chubukov. He is the landowner and he is an older guy. And Natalia Stepanova. So she is the daughter of the landowner. And Ivan Vasilievich Lomo. So he is the neighbor of this person. That is, he is neighbor of Chibuko. So let's go to the first part. So what happens in the first part is, it is a let me give you an intro about something that what to say. This is written by Anton Chekhov. He is very famous for his beautiful short stories with an inner meaning and a very, very humorous sense. So this one is a one-act farcical comedy about the foolishness of the upper class landowners. So Ivan Lomo, our protagonist, is a wealthy but nervous neighbor who visits Chibuko's house to propose marriage to his daughter Natalia. However, instead of discussing the proposal, Lomo and Natalia, they begin quarreling about something entirely different and entirely irrelevant little bit of information, such as a land piece called the Oxen Meadows. That is common for both of them. So the fight becomes so heated that Lomo walks away from the proposal and he forgets that he has come for proposal. When Natalia learns that he had come to propose, she immediately panics and insists to her father Chibuko that he bring him back. So once Lomo returns, they start arguing again. So this time, on whose dog is the best? Her dog is called Squeezen, his dog is called Guess, and both of them are comparing each other's traits and qualities to say which one is the best. And Lomo becomes so agitated and stressed out that he nearly faints from a heart attack. But Chibuko quickly pushes them together to find the common ground and asks them to accept the marriage proposal, and asks them to remember that he has come for proposal and she has actually asked him to return back for a proposal. So even after the proposal is finalized, the couple is still fighting. And Lomo just he is heatedly talking with Natalia for something else, and Natalia is also speaking back and shouting. And Chibuko he wants each of them to confirm that they are getting married and stop this nonsense. So this play humorously highlights how petty arguments and pride can overshadow important things like love and marriage. So let us go into the comprehension section. It is a big story. So the first question is, what does Chibuko suspect that Lomo has come for? So is he sincere when he later says, I have loved you all my angel, and as if you are my own son? So you have to find the reasons within the text. So excuse me. So what they are asking is, they are asking you to find reasons to say why Chibuko first suspected something else that Lomo wanted from him. So that is in page 122. So if you go to page 122, we will find that he was thinking in his mind voice, he was thinking that he has come to borrow money, so I shan't give him any. So he is thinking he has come to his house for money. Then, but while speaking outside, he is very polite and asking, what is it, my beauty? Like that he is asking. So he has vengeance and like he is a bad person, and he is inside, he talks in his mind all those things. But outside, he puts on a face of a very kind landlord, like that he is doing. The next one is, he wants to know, once he got to know that he has come for a proposal, that Lomo has come for a proposal, how does he act? So for that, he embraces him, kisses him, and says that I have always loved you, you are my angel, and you are as if you are my son. Because he has only one daughter. So he is saying, you are like my son to me. Like that he boasts to him, lies to him. Just because he has come back for a proposal. So next question. Chibuko says to Natalia, as if she won't consent, she is in love, egad, she is a lovesick cat. So would you agree? So Lomo actually asks to Chibuko whether Natalia is actually waiting for me, or like will she be okay with me proposing. But Chibuko, even though he knows that Natalia does not love him or does not even consider him like that, he simply lies to Lomo that she is a lovesick girl. She has always loved you and never actually expressed you those things. So those things we can find in the text in page number 124 and 130. Let's go to 124. So in 124, we find that she is not actually lovesick. She is actually very nonchalant about her attitude. Oh, there you have come, welcome home. What have you come to do? Like that, she is asking very casually because she doesn't know that he has come for a proposal. Because she is not having any inclination towards him in that sense. So when her father says that she is like a lovesick cat, she is exactly not a lovesick cat. So she was like, not he is not being sincere towards him. So she also like, you are wearing a evening dress. Why are you even wearing a evening dress? Like he has come prepared for a proposal to be formal, official kind of way. But she is just mocking him like, why are you in your evening dress? Are you going to a ball or something? Where you are looking all better or something. She is kind of an, what do you say, a pesky little girl. So she is behaving like that, entitled, something similar. So what happens is there is no sign of love from Natalia's side. So she is completely unaware of Lomo's plan or whatever her father is planning on. Since Chibuko didn't even have time to tell his daughter that like Lomo has come for proposal, act good. So she is being her own self, that is stubborn or something like a pesky teenager, something. She is like that. So next question. One next question it deals with, they are asking you to find words that all the three of them are cursing at each other or talking with each other, the words that they are trying to scold at each other. So for this, we have a table. In that, we can see the insults that are being thrown at each other. So some of the things are there. Rest we can go through the text also. So for example, when Chibuko is talking regarding Lomo, he is saying like he is a malicious, double-faced intriguer, pettifogger, grabber, land grabber, because they were fighting when they were dealing with a common piece of land which they both assume inheritance. That both are saying that it belongs to them among Chibuko and Lomo. So boy, like he is very young, like they're like saying like you are a child, you are a toddler, like that. Then pup, milksop. Milksop is something like a young hatchling or young one of a cow or something that drinks milk from its mother. So they are saying like he is still attached to his mother's breast, like that. Then oh fool, old rat, villain, scarecrow, and your family has lunacy. Your grandfather was a drunkard, and your aunt ran away with an architect, like that. Just like any household, Indian household, they are scolding. Like a street fight, it is like that. Then he also scolds Natalia, like when she actually fights with Lamo and sends him away without getting the proposal. When Chubuko comes to learn about this, he is saying it's all you. So he is scolding her for missing out an opportunity of a proposal, because Lomo is still a wealthy guy, wealthy neighbor of them. Next one, Natalia, when she scolds Lomo, she is saying, you are not a good neighbor, you are not a good hunter, you talk rot, then you are a demon of contradiction, then your dog is worthless, and you know nothing about hunting, impudent, then I shan't shut up. When he asks her to shut up, she is scolding back, I won't shut up, like that. Next, regarding his dog, she is saying that the guest should be shot. and it is ugly as a worn-out cab horse. Because during the days, instead of motorized cabs, they used to have horses pull out carriages. They used to be cabs. So it is looking like a worn-out cab horse. Next one, Lamo. What Lamo scolds Natalia is, be quiet, shut up when she is talking too much and he is having heart palpitations. He keeps saying her to keep quiet, to shut up, and he's asking whether you think I'm a fool for assuming it like that. Next, he scolds Chubukov like, you are a grabber, intriguer, old man without manners, Jesuit, and your late wife bet you. All those things they keep saying. Then even he's saying your grandfather was hunted down for embezzlement and your mother was humpbacked. Like she might have had arthritis or something. So it looks like she was called like humpbacked, like a troll or something. So that is how he is scolding Chubuko. So there are further more expressions about how they are scolding. You can find them in the text. So all these blue ones are Chubuko calling Lomao things, and all the green ones are Lomao calling Chubuko and Natalia with insults. So if I'll scroll up and you can pause the video anytime you want so that you can get your own answer. She even calls him dishonest, mean, a rascal, a monster. So pink one is Natalia calling Lomao things. So backbiters equal to your aunt. So her aunt is Lomao's aunt is the biggest backbiter of all. So Chubuko even says that his father was a guzzling gambler. So all these things you can pick it out from the video. I shall scroll really slow so that you can pause the video anytime you want and you can choose the answer. So that deals with the end of the insult section. So we'll go to the next question. So next one, they think then think of 5 adjectives for expressions to describe the character. So they are asking us to describe what type of character Natalia is, Lamo is, and Chubuko is. So for this, we can find this one. So Lamo is someone who is nervous and oversensitive because he gets sick. Because of a small fight, he suddenly gets heart palpitations and he is about to faint. Next one, he is a pompous man. He's a pompous man in sense like he is entitled, he is a wealthy guy. So he is kind of like, this is mine, that is mine, like that he is. And he is argumentative. He will not let down a small argument like something trivial. He will take it up and he will make sure that his point is heard and he is right. Next one, he is easily offended. So when Natalia just says that his dog is just old or something, then he immediately starts defending his dog and he starts arguing with Natalia that why are you saying my dog is wrong? Your dog is wrong. Like that, he starts getting agitated immediately. So he is easily offended by small remarks. Next one is Chubuko, the landlord, the old man. So he is hypocritical. How is that? He is not having a proper sense of self. Like he didn't like his neighbor, but when he came for a proposal, when he heard that he came for a proposal, he became excited because he is a wealthy guy. So if he marries his daughter will get wealthy and he will be getting a share of all the wealth and everything. So he is hypocritical in that sense. And then he is manipulative. He is manipulative in the sense like he wants to manipulate Lamo into thinking that his daughter is such a lovesick girl. But in contrast, she is kind of nonchalant and she is an adamant, stubborn little girl. So that one he is a manipulator. Then he is short-tempered. He is short-tempered like he was just talking and suddenly about hunting means, what do you know about hunting? You are not even a hunter. You are a little boy. I am more old than you and I am more experienced in hunting than you. Like that he is getting agitated with a short fuse. So next one is dramatic. Like he thinks about small things, he thinks in a exaggerated way. Like when he left the first time, Lomo leaves the house after fighting with Natalia. He starts to say, "Oh my God, to have a daughter like you lost such a big opportunity. You will be the death of me. I have to hang myself." Like that, he is being dramatic in that sense. Next, he is opportunistic. In the sense that just like before, once he knew that Lamau was actually coming to for a proposal, marriage proposal, he wants to turn that into an opportunity because Lamau is really a wealthy person and he wants to make sure that wealth comes to his daughter and his grandchildren will be will have sufficient wealth from both the families, like that. So next one, Natalia. Natalia is a practical girl. She like doesn't have some. She's not some lovesick puppy or a cat. Like she is adamant and she is stubborn in her nature, and she is also emotional. She is mercurial in nature. Like even a small thing will trigger her, and she is outspoken. Like any one point she will take and she'll just talking about dog means yeah, my dog is best. Like that was not even part of the conversation, but she wants to reveal that her dog is best. She wants to include that in the conversation. So she is kind of an emotional person. And next, she is quarrelsome. She is also the same like Lamo. Like she won't let down a fight by lying down. So she wants to fight and see to the end and make sure that she wins. So that kind of person she is, and she is possessive in nature because it is her land. Because it is she keeps saying that Oxen Meadows is her land. But once she gets to know that Lamo has come for a marriage proposal, she immediately agrees, yeah, it is yours. Oxen Meadows is yours. Let us deal with that. Now let us go to the next topic. What did you come to ask to me about? Like that, she is first possessive, but then she is also manipulative like her father. So we'll go to the next one. So the next one is, can you imagine what these characters will quarrel about next? So definitely, they will not have a peaceful life. Definitely, they will be always fighting for small things, and even for a small, tiny detail might trigger a big fight among themselves. Like they first they will start fighting about what to keep for wedding dinner and what are the preparations they need to do, what kind of flowers they need to have for the wedding, and what dress she needs to wear, what is the theme of the wedding. And definitely any wedding preparation itself they will start to have a fight, and where they would be living, whether since her father is now a widower, whether she will be living with him along with Lomo, or Lomo needs to move to his house. Like she'll be like, why should I leave my father? Like that, they might fight. And then she'll have the household duties. Like, why am I supposed to be the only one working around the house? Like that, she might start a fight. And he will be like, why should I do this? So Lamau is also not a person who leaves a fight. So they might fight for small things like this. Then about relatives, they might talk something and he may say like, my uncle is so much great and my uncle is auntie is so much great. Like that they may start fighting. And how many animals they have together. And that is my cow has more natural stamina and it gives more milk. Like that they might start fighting. And which hunting if they ever go for hunting together as a father-in-law and son-in-law, Chubuko and Lamo itself, they will be having such fights. Like, you come this way, I know the grounds very well. No, you come this way, I know the grounds very well. Like that they might start fighting. And since they can even argue about any small tiny detail, land, dogs, respect, anything, so all domestic issues, it will be ending only in fight. So next one, thinking about language. So language, they're saying that my darling, my treasure, we usually don't use these kinds of words among men. Like a woman they may talk like this, but among men to show politeness or kindness or love towards another man like this, we do not see that in English in any way. So what they are trying to say is, can we find anything like this in English? Something similar to in English. So for that we'll see this table. See that my darling, my precious. It is too intimate and sentiment for some adult to be talking. Like two girlfriends, they can talk. Even two women who are not acquainted that much, like neighbors, they don't talk like this. So what we can say is, my dear friend, oh, so good to see you. I have been meaning to meet you. Like that we can say. Next one, honored Stepan Stepanovich. For Stepanovich, we can, since he is like honored Stepanovich, we can say respectfully. So we can say Mr. or Sir, like that only we say. We don't use the word like honor and the whole name. We never use that. Next one, like my duty, my angel. So it is excessively used as a emotional kind of way in Russian. But in English, we use like dear, my child, oh my man, hello, my favorite person. Like that we are using. Then by Jove. It's an archaic British exclamation, and we don't actually use these days. So we can say, oh wow, really, some other exclamatory expressions we can use. Excuse me. Then you can have, I'll prove it to you, honored Natalia. So for using their name, full name like that, we use just the first name, and I'll show you the proof like that. Next one, EGOT. EGOT is an old fashioned for oh my god, oh my goodness, like that. Next one is I implore you. So it is like a dramatic for a conversational, casual conversation. So you can say like I request you or I ask of you, like that you can say. The next one, I shall die. My heart is my heart is bursting. So those things are exaggerated ways of saying that I am feeling stressed. So those things you can say, I feel sick, I am stressed, I am tensed, like that, pressured, like that you can mention. So the next one. So we have few words that are given in the box, and they are asking you to pronounce it properly. How to pronounce it properly. So we can use this table for that. So the words palpitation has 4 syllables. So the stress is in the tap. So palpitations. Next one is pedigree. So 3 syllables. So pedigree. Next one, interfere. Principle. Implore. Thoroughbred. Next one, evidence. Malicious. Accustomed. Embezzlement. Temporary. Architect. Behavior. Misfortune. Neighbors. Documents. So this is how it is pronounced. You can pause the video and you can note down the answer for the number of syllables and the pronunciation. We'll go to the next exercise. Look up the following phrases in the dictionary and find out their meaning. So you may take it that. So this one means like you can assume, or you can, it is safe to believe this thing, like that you can assume. So the answer would be, for a sentence, for example, I can say you make it that the meeting will start on time. So you may take it the meeting might start on time. So the meeting will start at some time. You should assume that it will start at that time. Next one, he seems to be coming around, changing or recovering from illness. So to be coming around means you are recovering from some kind of long illness, or you are changing from fainting to unconsciousness, consciousness, like that. So after fainting, he seems to be coming around slowly. So slowly he is coming back to his conscious. Next one, my foot's gone to sleep. So foot gone to sleep is similar to numbness or tingling sensation in your feet when you are in a you kept your feet in a tight position for a long time. So it means your feet has gone to sleep. So I sat cross-legged for so long that my foot has gone to sleep. So when you sit cross-legged or you are sitting in an awkward position, your leg gets cramped or it starts feeling numb. Next is reported speech. So reported speech consists of two parts, the reporting clause and the reporting verb. So the reporting and the reported clause. So for example, I went to visit my grandma last week, said Mamta. So Mamta said that she had gone to visit her grandma the previous week. So in this sentence, we have a direct speech, like Mamta is saying and no one is repeating for her. It is a direct dialogue. So we say if someone is reporting that Mamta said this, Tia said, Mamta said this, like that means it is indirect speech or reported speech. So it is then made up of two things like reporting clause and reported clause. So let's look at the example so that you can understand much better. So usually the tense will change when you are changing to reported or direct text speech. What will happen is past tense will become past perfect, or present will become past, present continuous will become past continuous. Those things will happen. So for example, Lamau says, Mr. Stepnovich, do you think I may count on her consent? If you see, it is a question. So when it is a question, you have to use the word asked. It is not reporting. Now you are, becomes a question. So asked. Lamau asked Stepnovich respectfully, because we have mentioned honored. So respectfully, if he thought he might count on her consent. So may will become might. So present will become past. Next one. I am getting a noise in my ears from excitement. So this is a direct speech. Since Lamau is saying he is not asking anyone, he is not talking to anyone, he is just talking out loud. So Lamau said that he was getting a noise in his ears from excitement. Next one, Natalia is talking. Why haven't you been here for such a long time? So she is actually asking somebody else. She is supposedly she is asking Lamau. So it is also a question. You have a question mark. So it will come asked. So Natalia asked why he hadn't. We have haven't. So it becomes hadn't been there for such a long time. Next one, when Chubukov is talking, what's the matter? So he is asking what's the matter to Lamau. So he asked him what the matter was. So is becomes was. So next one, Natalia is asking the movers, my movers will be there this very day. So Natalia declared, because it has an exclamatory sentence. So she is declaring her motives. She is just talking out loud to the persons in the room. So Natalia declared that her movers would be there that very day. So will became would. So this is all the rules that you have to remember. Question mark means asked. Normal direct speech means you have to say said, and if it is in present, it has to go to past. All those things you have to change. Next one. They have given some sentences for us and we are supposed to find the answer. So let us first one they have done for us. To report a question, we use the reporting verb asked. So since I already said you, like it comes with a question mark, you have to put asked. So next one, it is a statement. So just like I said, a direct statement if they have said, you have to say said or told. Any one you can use. Next one, the adverb of place here changes to there. Next one, when the verb is in the direct speech, is in present tense, it should be changed to past tense. Next one, if the verb in the direct speech is in the present continuous, it should change to past continuous. For example, is getting will change to was getting. Okay, he is getting me some ice cream. So he told me he was getting me some ice cream. Next one, when the sentence is in direct speech, the word denoting respect will change to respectfully. Next one, contains a word of denoting respect like honored, Stefan Stefanovich, like that. The pronouns I, me, our, mine So they will change to he, she, him or her according to whatever the subject is. So next one, they have given you an excerpt from a article from Times of India. So they have asked you to change it to direct speech to reported speech. So for this we have done it. So I will you can pause the video and you can check the answer. So remaining of the lines we are not supposed to touch, only the changing of the direct speech to reported speech. So he asks why. We want to know the age, his age. And adding if people knew how old he was, he wouldn't get work. So for we ask what the secret was. Then he replies. For a question, he is replying back. So he replies that his intake for everything is small quantities. And he says, he can change the words. So he is saying this. Can check it out. So he says. So we ask and he replies. So same thing. So you can pause the video and you can find out the answer. Next one, speaking and writing. Anger management as adults. One thing is about how to manage your temper. So can you think of 3 ill effects that happen due to temper? So are there any benefits from anger? So actually anger is really bad if it is not controlled, Papa. So you can list any 3 or 4 ill effects of the anger, such as health problem will come, damages your relationship with others, then it will lead you to poor decision making. Like even knowing that it is not good to you, just because you want revenge or you want to avenge somebody, you make poor decisions. All those things it comes. Next one, you can choose the ways, you can mention the ways to control it. Like you can go to therapy, or you can take long breaths and breathing exercises, or you can walk away to some other place so that your mind calms down. You can meditate, or you can count to 10, somebody counts to 10, and we can try to talk calmly, because even calmness actually cools you down. So those things you can mention. Then what you can mention is the pros and cons of the being angry. Like sometimes anger is good, like it motivates you to achieve things. Like somebody has scolded you like you are nobody, you can't achieve this. With this much education, you can't achieve anything. Like that, if when somebody says, and you turn that anger into motivation, it is good. But that anger, when taken in a negative sense, also may cause harm. Like you might start, instead of plotting your success story, you might plot a revenge story. So that is also wrong. So you can give points for both to and for for and against anger issues, and so that way you can enrich your writing. Next one, in pairs, prepare a script based on the given excerpt from The Home and the World by Rabindranath Tagore. You may write 5 exchanges in a dialogue pipeline. So for this, you have to write clear dialogues. Simple clear dialogues you can take from the text, and you can mention any 5 conversations. You need not copy everything. Just mention 3 conversations, 5 conversations, and you have to make sure that it is an active script. Active script in the sense like make sure you can say that the person is walking to the door or coming back and she's shuffling in her legs between her feet, or looking up and down and nervous. Her breath comes in short bursts. Like that you can mention. So keep it short, keep the dialogue small and meaningful, so that you have to think like what happens if this is taken on a play. And you want actually to understand a play which is going in a energetic form, means if the dialogues are small only you can follow them. If it is too long, you will be bored or you cannot follow what the character is trying to say. So for this also we have one example and we will see that. So here we have Home and the World, and the characters are Nikhil and Bimla. So the messenger conveys to the Nikhil that Bimla has sent for him to come to meet in her room. So he goes to her room. So look, Nikhil enters hurriedly, holding some papers, and he looks surprised because Vimla had not even called him for anything for so long time. So suddenly she has sent someone to talk to him. So that is a surprising event for Nikhil. So Nikhil is puzzled and asking, "Did you send for me?" So Bimla is slightly nervous and she is adjusting her bangles and she's saying, "Yeah, I need to speak to you urgently." So you can pause this video and you can get the answer. So similar way, she steps forward and speaks with determination, and all those things you can understand from reading the text. You can imagine yourself like how she is behaving and how it is like that. You can understand like these are normal conversation. How some person who is nervous will talk to another person who is when they want to ask something or like that. You can assume like what your expression will be or how their expression will be. All those things you can imagine and you can write down. Even from experience also you can take. So raises her voice, pointing towards the door, walks towards the door, and all those things. And you can abruptly stop the dialogue in the middle and say, cutting her short, turning to leave. I cannot argue this. I must refuse to tyrannize. Tyrannize, even for country, is to tyrannize over the country. So I won't be able to explain this to you. And he slowly walks out. So leaving Bimla standing in silence. So this way, it is an active script. It is kind of a script that comes live just by reading it. So once even the actors they read it, they will get a sense of liveliness from the script itself, so that they know where to stand, what to do, and what expression to give. So you need to make sure you mention all these things in the dialogue. This is how you do it. So you can pause the video and you can get the answer. Next question. So in groups, discuss the qualities one should look for in a marriage partner and appearance, attitudes, beliefs. So what we can do is like you take each topic, this one personal quality, value, and education. So you have to make sure that physical attraction, you have to tell the group that physical attraction is not the only factor. It is not that important. It should not be the only factor that determines a person who is going to live with you forever. Because looks go any day. So that is not permanent. Only the soul of the person, the character of the person is much more important. So both the partners should have properly good attitudes towards each other or towards the world in better sense. And they should have similar beliefs also about life. Like both should want children. One doesn't want children means that is going to cause a problem in the future. So that one about family, about responsibilities also. Like they both should be even footed. Like if you want to share, if you have want somebody modern means you have to share the household duties and other things. Want someone traditional means you have to express before that you want something traditional. So being upright and front about everything will ease your life in marriage. Next one, you can say that value system about compassion and kindness. You can say that person should be caring, and they should have a emotional maturity should be there. Emotional, they should provide emotional security for you, and a partner should be patient, respectful of the differences that you have both have in your houses. Like a boy might have been brought up differently from a girl, and so they need to understand those kind of differences and adjust and have patience for it. And they have to motivate each other, like that you have to mention. And then you have to have your financial habits also, regarding like one should not be a miser and one should not be very flamboyant with their style and spending too much, like that they should not be. So both of them should be on equal financial stability and have that habit should match. And then you can say for educational, you can say that they need to be mature, they need to have a stability in their educational background, and they can in the career side also they need to be good, because they need to have a shared goal for family. So since even if one of them is not able to procure a employment or suddenly loses an employment, the other person must be able to support the family. So that in that sense, they should be both equal in that sense. And they should have that stability in both in education and finance. So all these things you can mention. Next one. Are there parts of the play that remind you of films or scenes from other romantic comedies? They're asking. So, for example, I'll mention three, and you can refer more in the on the internet. For example, Oscar Wilde's Importance of Being Earnest. It is a story about like mixed identities of two guys who are trying to marry two women of a wealthy family, and they are having a same identity, which they very secretly and very humorously try to hide from the girls. So that one is very similar to like mistaken identity or something. Then Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, Emma and Sensibility, they all have this kind of thing that where misunderstanding plays a very, very big part in their background. Because in Pride and Prejudice, one of them has pride and one of them has prejudice regarding the other, and it ruins their lives also, and the people around them also it ruins. Then next, Emma assumes mistakenly that her friend is not interested in another person, when in fact her friend is rather shy about talking with the person that she actually loves. So she assumes by the contrary, and fixes her marriage with someone else. So those kind of misunderstandings, when you are not open about your feelings, so those kind of misunderstandings, then Sense and Sensibility also, it is a wrong mistaken issue about a person's marital status, and those things happens. Next one is Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing and Twelfth Night, which is more similarly mistaken identity and about the all the problems that arises similar with this, like wrong fights or assuming bad things and fighting for unimaginably trivial things. So those kind of examples you can take, and you can refer to other examples also. When you read the story, you would have probably understood like, hey, that one is similar to this movie that I watched. So whatever movie that comes to your mind, you can mention. So this brings to the end of the exercise section. So one more small exercise we have. It is they have asked you to read this and try to find out who the mystery author is. So the clues are Stratford on Avon and April 1564, and he is the pinnacle of world literature and London theatre, and his wife is Anne Hathaway, means it is definitely William Shakespeare. So that is the answer. So next one is homophones. Homophones, the same thing with the given two sentences. Literally, they mean the words that are spelled similarly but have different meanings at different places. So they were too close to the door to close it. So first close means the nearness of your position. Next one is the close, it means you have to shut it. Next one is, since there is no time like the present, she thought it was time to present the present. So the first present is happening, that is now it is happening, current tense. Next, it was time to present, means reveal or show or give away, that kind of present. Then the present is a gift, a kind of a token of gift, like that. So that is what homophones are. So this concludes our chapter also. So the proposal ends us with a humorous reminder of how human being can quarrel over the smallest things and matters that are not even important. And when love and marriage are at stake, even smallest matters should not matter to us. And despite their constant arguing, Lomo and Natalia finally agree to marry, showing that misunderstandings and pride often create unnecessary conflict. And the play closes to us in a comical note. because it is highlighting the fact that the foolishness of human behavior. Still, they are fighting over small things, and Chubuko wants to control both of them. So it is definitely going to be a long night and a long years for Chubuko trying to separate his daughter and his son-in-law from fighting. So Chekhov uses these kind of exaggerated arguments and trivial disputes to reveal the pettiness and insecurity and absurdity of human nature. So through satire and sharp dialogue, he exposes how people often allow ego and material concerns to overshadow genuine emotions, turning something as meaningful as a marriage proposal into a series of comical battles. So he has such a kind of beautiful way of describing this, and it is really a wonderful read to have this story in your book. So this brings us to the end of chapter 9 and thereby the end of our book First Flight. So for any queries or questions regarding the 9 chapters of First Flight book, please feel free to comment below or contact us at Go Ask Nok Academy. So catch you soon in the next videos of Supplementary Reader, Footprints Without Feet. So thank you for watching.